Hey, let's talk about the creative idea portion of the 3x5 goal setting program. So this little card right here is what I carry around with me every day. It's got my goals on it, to-do list, everything. I've explained it in a former video, but I want to get into the details of capturing ideas on your card. And this is this is honestly one of the most important parts of the cards, in my opinion. Goal setting, extremely important. To-do lists, absolutely. It's been proven and shown many times that successful people write stuff down. They do. And there's something to be said about paper. I don't know if you're a digital person or a paper person. I like paper for stuff like this. I like the tangible aspect. There's a lot of people that still feel very strongly about paper and how technology, it has its place, but in my opinion, paper works better for something like this. Anyways, that aside, let's talk about the space there for your ideas. Now, this is something that I started about 8 or 9 years ago. At the end of each day, I come back and I file these little cards away. I explained this on a different video. And then once a week, I go through the stack of cards for the week. And one by one, I pull off all the ideas that I've written down and I type them up in a document on Dropbox. And it's called my 3x5 journal. That's what I call it, for lack of a better term. I think it works. So I go through and I just say, February 22nd is this idea. March 8th was this idea. April, Jane. Anyways, on down the line till the end of the year when I close it out, and then I start a new document January 1st of the following year. I have done that for 9 years now, and I have 9 years worth of ideas. Now, when I say ideas, these are new product ideas, these are business ideas, these are networking ideas, these are thoughts, they're funny things. People say something and it strikes me as funny, I'll write it down. It's a new way of doing something. It could be ideas as a father, ways that I want to engage my kids more, or challenges that I want to issue to my kids when they're a certain age, or it might be an idea for a book. I get a lot of book ideas, so I'm going to do a lot of writing later on down the road. But anything that strikes you in an interesting way, I want to challenge you to constantly have your feelers up for ideas and treat them with the utmost respect, because that is what ideas deserve. Ideas deserve our respect. Ideas are precious. They're the most precious commodity in business. Even more precious, I think, than money, because ideas are what generate money. Every problem that exists in business can be solved with an idea. I love problem solving. I love creativity. And I believe firmly that solutions are all out there. They're just waiting to be discovered. And people who capture ideas put themselves in that ring of fire where they can play. And they get ideas. The universe or God or whatever inspiration you subscribe to will take you more seriously if you have the discipline to jot down your ideas. It is a phenomenal practice. It's one that has changed my life, and I challenge you to do the same. Be an idea junkie. You see that show called Hoarders, and people just save everything. I have a philosophy on that. And a word that I came up with, this was one of the ideas. I jotted this down one day. I'm like, this word, suffocate. We're all suffocating, right? I thought that was pretty clever. I've never heard anybody use it before. So I started writing about it a little bit. Didn't really turn into anything. It's not like there's a business called Stuffication that maybe there could be. I don't even know. It was just an interesting thought. We all have so much stuff that we're stuffocating. And so there's an idea. I thought that was interesting. Another idea that I wrote down was an app. I was challenged by my brother to build an app, and one day I was writing, I was playing an app and an idea struck me for an app. I jotted it down. I still have that card today. In fact, I didn't throw that one away, because that app, I took that idea and pursued it all the way to completion, and it's currently live in the App Store. So I'd never done anything like this before, but because I paid attention to an idea and I wrote it down and I followed through with it, something happened that never would have happened. And the same will be true for you. If you are willing to, sometimes it's inconvenient, stop in the middle of doing stuff and say, you know what? I got to write that down before I forget, because one principle I have learned about ideas is that they are very finicky. They don't hang around. If you're not going to be serious, they'll go to the next guy. That's what I think. If you take them seriously, you jot them down, you do something about it, then more ideas will come, because you're exercising that muscle and you're putting out there in your brain or in the universe or however you want to call it, the energy that, hey, I take ideas seriously. I treat them well. I love ideas. Send more my way, because if you do, they're going to get captured and they're going to get taken care of. So make that a habit. And this goal-setting system that I use integrates all of that. It's probably one of the most important parts, is that at the end of the day, and some days I don't have ideas, but at the end of the day, I hope to have something that struck me as interesting that I'm able to jot down on my card, and then of course journal it. So I keep it, and maybe I do nothing with it, just like stuffication. I thought that was interesting. It was fun. I thought it was creative. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe someday it'll be a blog, and maybe someday it'll be, who knows what it'll turn into, but I haven't. I've captured it. If I didn't, I would have forgotten. How many ideas have you had that you thought, that's a great idea, and then you forget? And later on you're like, oh gosh, now what was that again? Happens to me all the time. It's the worst feeling, because sometimes they're good ideas and I'm like, oh crap, I just lost a really great idea, I'm sure. Even mediocre ideas, I just have this phobia now of losing ideas. So I challenge you to do the same. Capture your ideas, get in that habit, and you'll be glad you did, because at the end of the year, you'll look back and you'll start scanning through your ideas, and some of them will surface as like, now's a good time to pursue something here. Other ones, you'll have met new people. And you'll say, you know, when I first had the idea back in March, it didn't mean much to me. But now that I'm revisiting it, and I've got these new connections with a few different people and this and that, or this conversation's come up, or funding is now available that it wasn't before, now you look at that idea in a whole different light. And you're like, you know, I can actually do something with this idea now. And or I can partner up on it, or you know, it can turn into a business, or it can be a blog, or it can be whatever. So I guess what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, long story short, become a person that captures ideas. Because if you'll do this, if you will get disciplined about capturing ideas, anything, if it's even questionable, just write it down. You can always ignore it. That's not a big deal. Capture ideas, and one day something will stand out and you'll be like, aha, I am so glad I wrote that down, because I would have forgotten it. And it'll become huge. Problems solved, ideas for business. You'll always have something to look on and reflect and go through and consider. It keeps the mind going, and that's a very healthy thing. So there's my challenge for the day. Jot down some ideas and comments in the boxes below. I'd love to hear your feedback and your take on all of this and some of the ideas that you have. Let's keep the conversation going.